I thank the Chairwoman for the recognition. I want to welcome our witnesses here today. Certainly anxious to hear your testimony. Dr. Ward, Texan, certainly grateful that you're on the panel. We know it will be an even-handed approach since there is a Texan in the group. So promoting our economy and increasing energy resources are two of the most important issues facing our country today. Alone, these two issues are important, but when combined, the increased energy resources will help revive our economy and in turn increase economic output, and ultimately the bottom line is add jobs to the economy, which is the key issue right now. I've personally spent a great deal of time focused on this in my home district in North Texas. We have terribly hot summers. Right now it's, I think, projected to be the heat index is well over 100 degrees. And 2 weeks ago, I brought together experts in North Texas to discuss energy efficiency and clean energy production for the future. It's an annual event that I hold every summer because regardless of which side of the discussion we find ourselves, whether it's from the standpoint of global warming or the standpoint of national security, or we just worry that we're going to run out of oil one day, the common ground is energy efficiency, and no one wants to be in favor of wasting energy. New technologies to reduce energy wastage and move us towards, say, an electrical automobile fleet. This was actually, surprisingly for me, met with some degree of optimism in North Texas. You know, we love our trucks. We love our dually pickup trucks. But nevertheless, people are willing to look at other alternatives, particularly for a vehicle that would primarily be involved in commuting. The questions that I'll have for the panel today are about the availability of clean energy sources and their costs. Achieving energy security and increasing renewable, less carbon-intensive energy sources are important to our country's energy discussion. However, there are important questions. How can we promote clean energy sources like wind, solar, and thermal and other methods without increasing consumer costs? What is a realistic amount of clean energy to expect in the future? And what energy efficiencies can we achieve until more renewable sources are available? My state of Texas is a leader in clean energy. In fact, if Texas were its own country, which some people have talked about, we would be the world leader in wind energy. And indeed, it was our clean energy governor, George W. Bush, in the mid-90s, who put the regulatory framework in place in Texas, which has made Texas one of the largest producers of clean energy in the world. The Barnett Shale is a huge reserve of natural gas in an alternative or tight shale formation in my district. It provides an economic boon as well as a source for fuel for our economy. But it does pose specific challenges. Whether it's the oil industry encroaching upon civilization or civilization encroaching upon the oil industry, it has led to some tension in my district, and the resource must be developed in a sensible fashion, which is sensitive to the fact that there are people now living nearby to the fields of production. In 2009, Texas produced more megawatts of wind energy in the country, wind energy, and added more megawatts of this energy than any other state, but we also have the situation where we have to bring that energy to the place where the people live, and so the siting of new transmission lines becomes an issue in an area that has increased in population. So with those above-mentioned sources accounting for such a small amount of energy consumption, how realistic is it for our government to rely on these sources for providing large numbers of employment in our country and helping our economy? Encouraging the use of clean energy sources is a laudable goal. It can not only revive our economy, but help boost it. But the discussion I hope to hear today is what are the realistic expectations for us to have in the short term, and what can Americans be doing to promote the expansion of clean energy use and energy efficiency to achieve what we need with existing resources? Thank you, Madam Chairwoman. I'll yield back the balance of my time.
Thank you very much.